Thank you. Just a true honor to be here. The history of what the Riverfront series has done in the past. When I got asked to be a part of this, I said yes right away. And I haven't been in the mix for a while now. There's just so much stuff going on in life. And just for the record, before I became a police officer, I was actually going to school to be a teacher and realized that is way too dangerous. I'm going to be a cop. And in true fashion with Friday the 13th, right before dinner, I was getting ready to come down here, and I go to print out some of my work, and the printer goes down. So luckily, I have a guardian angel. I said, "Hey, you by any chance have a couple of those books that I've been publishing?" "Yeah, I got both of them." "Oh, can you bring them down?" And I also emailed her a couple of new ones, and so we're good to go. Life is good. The rain is good. I want to start off by a new poem I recently wrote. This poem's it originated with, I was going to perform with a person I used to mentor when she was in high school, and she was in a group called Las Poetas a while back. Her name's Angelina Tinoco, and I've always been a fan of her work. She's like the angry Latina from the hood, and she lets the guys have it too in her poetry, and I love that because I know she's not talking about me. But we were going to do a duet, and her car broke down on the way to the performance, and we're going to do some back and forth poetry. And out of them poems, 3 different verses became their own poetry. And I'd like to read 2 of those to start off with. The name of the poem, the collective poem between us, is called Love Is. And what we did was like, okay, let's talk about our children first, and then the love of our life, and then we'll talk about the neighborhood, because we both grew up in the same neighborhood. And so those are the 3 verses. I'm going to read 2 of those because they, like I said, they took on their own identity. You guys can figure out what this is right away. Love is 6 pounds, 11 ounces. Daddy's little girl, mama's beautiful brown eyes. Love is breaking your damn toes running in the dark because you thought you heard her cry. Love is waking up in the middle of the night just to check that she's alright. Daddy's little girl is the reason I'm alive. Slowed me down, she is my life. Oh yeah. Love is also 8 pounds, 14 ounces. Daddy's pride and mama's boy. Curly hair, chubby cheeks, breaking his and her toys. Chubby fingers, chubby legs, chubby booty, chubby head. I shall call him Chorizo, because he got his chubbiness from his dad. Those for my children. This next one, and you'll see why, it just became its own poem. I grew up on the Kansas City's west side. When I grew up down there, I grew up near 21st and West Penway, if you could picture it. If you're familiar with, there's a little library there, there's a community center across the street, there's a little bakery that sells Mexican bread. When I grew up there, it was the West Penway Projects, and that was it. We didn't have these facilities, these institutions, and up the street, just 2 blocks up, is now a neighborhood school, which also wasn't there when I grew up there. So I stood in the middle of the street one day, and I looked around and saw these buildings, and that's where this part of the poem came from, and I'll explain the buildings, these institutions in the poem. In my neighborhood, I see a street sign that reads, Avenida Cesar Y Chavez, because I walk with my head up. I also see the name of a coach on a gym, the Tony Aguirre Community Center, because I walk with my head up. And in my neighborhood, I see the name of the librarian who introduced me to the poetry section at the library up the street from where I grew up, the Irene H. Ruiz Biblioteca de las Americas, because I walk with my head up. And in my neighborhood, I see the name of a West Sider on an elementary school who gave his life to save a teacher from becoming a victim of a violent crime. Primitivo Garcia Elementary, because I walk with my head up. I'm so proud of where I come from growing up on the west side. You know, we're just, the culture that community has been able to maintain, you know, it's been there since 1911, was like when the first Latino immigrants came to that part of the city. And I get to stand there now. I work down in that area, in the middle of that street where I grew up, where there was a lot of drive-by shootings in the projects where I lost one of my friends, and across the street just empty abandoned buildings, and now we have an institution named after people from our community all surrounded me, and I was just so motivated to write something for that.